We are stronger together.
We push our teams to excel.
In the classroom,
on the court,
in the community.
Together we are committed and uplifting.
Strong and authentic.
We are building the next generation.
A generation with integrity.
And we're doing it our way.
Supporting one another. Working towards the same vision.
Stronger together.
This is the CUSA way.
We're a university founded on the side of an airport, reaching new heights. It's in our DNA. And since then, we've dedicated ourselves to solving the big problems facing our community and the world. We believe that crazy startup idea isn't so crazy, that families without healthcare shouldn't have to go it alone. We believe we can be better prepared for the next hurricane, and that our coral reefs can be saved. And that's because, above all else, we believe in you.
Well, very pleasant Monday morning to you. We welcome you to the campus of FIU. It's Panther Talk Live here at the Graham Center, sponsored by the Florida Lottery. Glad to have you with us once again. We're rolling with the talk show. It's been a couple of weeks. We had this with Butch Davis in the fall, and now the Hoops edition of Panther Talk Live. We've got Tiara, Malcom, Jeremy Ballard will join us in just a little bit. I'm AJ Ricketts. Thanks for joining us once again. And, school started back up here at FIU last week, but, Coach, you know the deal. It's syllabus week the first week back. It's not really the start of school. Now really begins the grind of the academic semester for everyone, but you guys have been back in action now for a couple of weeks as well. So back at home, coming up this week, 2-game homestand Thursday, of course, and Saturday, the CUSA schedule. And last time out at home, not a bad performance against Middle Tennessee. Let's talk about that game a little bit. It's a team that's been to the postseason, I think, the last 15 years, 13 under their current head coach, Rick Enzel. And you guys really gave them a fight. We're leading in the fourth quarter. What were your impressions of that game and how you were able to really compete and put up a good ball game?
I thought the players played really, really well. I thought they played hard for pretty much the entire game, and we tried to do a lot of things where we were switching up our defenses, and that involves a lot of concentration, really paying attention when you're in huddles, whether you're sitting on the bench about to sub in or whether you're, behind, just paying attention to what's being written up on the board and what's being said. But I thought they did a really good job with that. Now, you hit a couple free throws at the end to just kind of seal it and you win the game. But those are growing moments, and for us, we got to kind of get over that hump.
Sure.
I'm done and tired of the moments of, we've grown, but now let's get over the hump.
Tangible things moving forward. Well, I think your roster is so interesting because you play everyone, essentially. Yes. Everyone has a role, knows their niche on the team. Even Spagule in that game, she had a couple of big perimeter buckets. Is that kind of a unique concept of this team, the fact that every single person who dresses out knows that they're probably going to play some valuable minutes during that game? It
is. I think it just makes the practice focus that much more sharp.
Sure.
Because if you're only playing a few minutes, you can tend to kind of zone out and not really be focused on what's going on. But when you know that your number is going to be called and you're going to be dependent upon for production, you have to be that much more in tune to what's going on.
Let's talk a little bit about your roster. We'll start with Sanara Skanes, who really is playing well as of late. I think one of the most impressive freshmen around the league right now. She's top 10 in rebounding. And scoring. Let's talk scoring. Points per game. First 15 games, she had 2 double-digit games. Back-to-back double-digit games now the last 2 games. What have you seen out of her and her progression?
Well, we've inserted her to the starting lineup just to get a different look and to kind of give us some more energy, especially on the defensive glass. But just offensively, even in recruiting her, we saw some things that she could do, but she's kind of stepped her game up and taken it to a new level of just being really, really aggressive and attacking, and we just try to build her up as much as we possibly can to do that. But again, she's done a really good job of that.
When you insert a young player into the starting line, there's inserting upperclassmen in when you need them to fill a role or whatnot. But when you insert a freshman into the starting line, do you see that their game start to perk up a little bit in their practice habits and that energy?
You do. I think it kind of allows you to stick your chest out a little bit,
sure.
And it gives you a little bit of a confidence. Obviously, you have some nerves going into it sometimes because you want to. For her, I know she wants to do so well.
Yeah.
And so I just told her, just kind of, as you go in there, just let the first thing that you do in the game be something of energy. So whether it's an offensive rebound, whether it's a defensive rebound, bring energy to your team just to start the game, and that'll help to kind of calm your nerves.
Well, she's a pretty talented scorer in, I think, Oklahoma City at Putnam City West. And, Do you see young players sometimes struggle with the transition from, hey, they were the girl in high school, averaging 20 to 25 points per game, but then they don't want to overstep boundaries maybe in that first semester, trying to figure out their role in the offense. Do you see that sometimes with people who were high volume scorers in high school?
I think that and kind of adjusting to the pace of obviously playing in college.
Yeah.
You know, she had to try to find her level of pushing through, of, you know, hey, I'm not tired. I can take, you know, I can go up and down the floor a couple more times. But I think she's starting to really find her niche with that.
Sure. All right, let's talk about another talented player. And we talked about it before the season. I said, who do you think is not just your most talented player, but who do you really trust right now? And you mentioned Chelsea Guimaraes, the transfer from Georgia Tech. She sat out last season, but obviously very valuable, contributing in practice. And now this season on the court, she's had pretty solid games, 21 against USA, 12 against UAB, most recently 15 at Old Dominion. As you see right here, 6 of 8 from the field. What does it take for her to show that type of consistency game in, game out, instead of maybe what you saw against Charlotte and Middle Tennessee when she had 3 points combined? What allows her to excel?
I think it's her confidence, and if, you know, we're watching these Old Dominion clips, everything that she scored on was either from perimeter. She literally only scored on like one post-up. So just varying how we're getting her the ball, you know, finding her different places on the floor to score. But I always tell her, look, you have to go hunt yours. You know, we're going to look for you. The guards are going to find you. We're going to run offenses for you. But, you know, sometimes you have to say, take it like for yourself. I'm going to go get me a shot. I'm going to demand the ball and go make something happen around the rim.
That's a good point, because I think it may not show itself in the scoring column all the time, but I think what she does as well as anyone on the team is set up in great post position. She gets to the block and gets in a good spot. It seems almost every other time down the floor. How do you feel she's developed in her post positioning throughout her time thus far?
She's definitely developed, and it's been a process. Now we're to the point where, you know, we got to kind of don't be so unselfish with it.
Yeah.
Be selfish. If you establish deep post position, you're 2 feet in the paint, we want you to go put something up on the rim. You know, you may miss it. That means we have a chance for an offensive rebound. But, you know, stop with the kick outs and things like that. Go put something on the rim.
Yeah. All right. Moving forward this weekend, as games Thursday and Saturday as well. Let's talk about Thursday. What have you seen on tape of the opponent there? Look, last year La Tech came in here and you guys put again one of the best teams in conference play throughout the last couple of years. A winning percentage as high as almost anyone in college basketball. Picked up a win against their Middle Tennessee. Postseason play a lot. Gave them a fight the other 2 weeks. What's going to take this Thursday to stay competitive and get over that hump?
I think just from a defensive standpoint, we have to be on the same page. Our defense needs to improve a lot more. People are scoring way too many points, and I think we're just giving up easy opportunities, either in transition or uncontested shots. So obviously as a coaching staff, that's things that we can control with just kind of drilling them in practice. But just from an offensive standpoint, like, we have to look to score, and every single person, because we play everyone has to contribute. Find a way to do something just a little bit more than what you have been contributing.
And a bright spot as well in that Middle Tennessee game. That was the fewest points the Blue Raiders had scored in a victory this season, held them to just 59. Offense wasn't there for FIU when they needed it, but it was close. It was right there, single-digit game for much of that contest, and we'll see what they can do here this Thursday. All right, before we wrap things up, Coach, a harrowing experience earlier this month for you. Alligator Alley. I mean, we all know you better fill up the gas tank before you head to the West or East Coast. This is her tweet from earlier this month. Storm, tell us the origins of your car's name, Storm, and the thought process behind getting on that highway with little gas.
Well, my car's black, so when I first got it, I was going between Storm and Queen, and Storm just kind of sat with me. So
you don't hear right now, but we're playing that song, 5 Miles to Empty, a classic. Coach, make sure to fill up the gas tank, and best of luck this Thursday.
Absolutely.
We'll
Thank
see you out there
AJ.
at Ocean Bank. All right, that's Tiara, Malcom. Jeremy Ballard will join us in just a minute. You're watching Panther Talk Live, brought to you by the Florida Lottery.
We are stronger together.
We push our teams to excel.
In the classroom,
On the court,
in the community,
Together, we are committed and uplifting.
strong and uplifting.
We are building the next generation.
A generation with integrity.
And we are doing it our way.
Supporting one another.
Working towards the same vision.
Stronger together.
This is the CUSA way.
Brian Beer Jr., FIU basketball senior point guard from Rancho Cucamonga, California. I've been playing the game since I was 3 years old, so it's something I have a love for the game. This year is just some more competing, some more working hard. Every day is tough. The coaching staff is a great coaching staff. Everybody, we all get along. You know, it's just a different feel to the team this year, and I feel like we're gonna be good. The individual goals: make a first team all conference, break some more records, more steals records, assist records, and just win. I just want to win. I want to be known as a winner. Just come out this year and find out, man. It's gonna be a good year. We're gonna get a lot of wins. Hopefully everybody comes, pack the stands.
We're a university founded on the side of an airport, reaching new heights. It's in our DNA. And since then, we've dedicated ourselves to solving the big problems facing our community and the world. We believe that crazy startup idea isn't so crazy, that families without health care shouldn't have to go it alone. We believe we can be better prepared for the next hurricane, and that our coral reefs can be saved. And that's because, above all else, we believe in you.
You're watching Panther Talk Live, presented by the Florida Lottery. The Florida Lottery has contributed more than $34 billion to support education. Your ticket purchase helps Florida students have a brighter future. Follow Florida Lottery on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. We'll be back with men's head coach Jeremy Ballard in just a little bit here in Miami.
We are stronger together.
We push our teams to excel.
In the classroom,
On the court,
in the community,
together we are committed and uplifting.
strong and authentic.
We are building the next generation.
A generation with integrity.
And we are doing it our way.
Supporting one another,
Working towards the same vision.
stronger together.
This is the CUSA way.
Trajan Jacob, shooting guard at Florida National University from Houston, Texas. Fell in love with the game from my older brother and my older sister. They're always my role models, my idols. What makes me Trajan Jacob, like to shoot the basketball, score the basketball in a variety of different ways. I look to leave my mark while setting the scoring record again. I broke it last year with 38 points. I'm just trying to get my name on the wall and make them remember me, and hopefully one day they can retire my jersey. Coach of the team, we're running gun style, but also, we're a very big family, and we try to incorporate that in everything we do, regardless if it's on the court or even off the court. To all the FIU fans, make sure y'all show up. This year's going to be a show. We're going to put some points on the board and have fun.
We are stronger together.
We push our teams to excel.
In the classroom,
On the court,
In the community,
together we are committed and uplifting.
Strong and authentic.
We are building the next generation.
A generation with integrity.
And we're doing it our way. Supporting one another. Working towards the same vision.
Stronger together.
This is the CUSA way.
I'm Antonio Day, freshman at Florida International University from Durham, North Carolina. What excites me the most about the game of basketball, just the intensity of it and how it's a team effort and just the passion I have for the game. What does it mean to me to be a part of the FIU basketball program? It means a lot because Coach Ballard and the rest of the staff put trust in me. I just really enjoy the family vibe that we have here. I just look forward to having a winning season, just learning the ropes from the older guys and just doing what I can to help my team win this year. What type of impression I want to leave here at FIU? I just want to be one of the greatest players to come through this program and have my jersey someday retire on the walls with some of the other greats.
Brian Beer Jr., FIU basketball senior point guard from Rancho Cucamonga, California. I've been playing the game since I was 3 years old, so it's something I have a love for the game. This year is just some more competing, some more working hard. Every day is tough. The coaching staff is a great coaching staff. Everybody, we all get along. It's just a different feel to the team this year, and I feel like we're gonna be good. The individual goals: make a first team all conference, break some more records, more steals records, assist records, and just win. I just want to win. I want to be known as a winner. Just come out this year and find out, man. It's gonna be a good year. We're gonna get a lot of wins. Hopefully everybody comes, pack the stands.
We're a university founded on the side of an airport, reaching new heights, it's in our DNA. And since then, we've dedicated ourselves to solving the big problems facing our community and the world. We believe that crazy startup idea isn't so crazy, that families without health care shouldn't have to go it alone. We believe we can be better prepared for the next hurricane, and that our coral reefs can be saved. And that's because, above all else, we believe in you. We're a university founded on the side of an airport, reaching new heights. It's in our DNA. And since then, we've dedicated ourselves to solving the big problems facing our community and the world. We believe that crazy startup idea isn't so crazy, that families without health care shouldn't have to go it alone. We believe we can be better prepared for the next hurricane, and that our coral reefs can be saved. And that's because, above all else, we believe in you.
We are stronger together.
We push our teams to excel.
In the classroom,
On the court,
In the community,
together we are committed and uplifting.
strong and authentic.
We are building the next generation.
A generation with integrity.
And we are doing it our way.
Supporting one another.
Working towards the same vision.
stronger together.
This is the CUSA way.
Oh, look at the FIU marching band walking around Brickell downtown for the Three Kings Parade yesterday. Good times in Miami for that annual tradition. You're watching Panther Talk Live with head coach Jeremy Ballard. A reminder, the Florida Lottery gives billions to Florida schools every year. Your ticket's their ticket too. This is Panther Talk Live, presented by the Florida Lottery. Glad to have you with us as we roll along. AJ Ricketts alongside Jeremy Ballard. Coach, thanks for joining us once again. I was telling Tiara, Malcom, school's in full swing now. Last week was syllabus week. You get that. It's not really the start of the semester. We're ready to go. Hoops has been in full swing the whole time since he got back from the holiday break. And 2-2 in conference play. Let's chat the last week of action, the last two games. 3-point win against Charlotte and a back-and-forth contest against Old Dominion. The most recent game, so we'll start with Old Dominion. Trailed by double digits at one point. Worked your way back into it. An electrifying second half, a great crowd. You come up just on the short end. But you said after the game, look, Old Dominion's been one of the top teams in the conference for quite some time, and that was a pretty good battle back and forth for 40 minutes.
Yeah, for sure. They've been one of the best teams in the league, and they still are one of the best teams in the league. They're very tough, very physical. They truly understand what their identity is, and they execute game in and game out. It was really disappointing to come up short there. In all honesty, I believe it was our finest 40 minutes, our most complete 40 minutes that we played this year. But there were a couple little things that have sort of plagued us all year long that bit us and cost us in the end. But our team is making progress, and we got to continue to do so to beat the best teams in the league.
Well, we talked about the vibe and your message to the team in the locker room after the Charlotte game. You led by 17. They whittled it down to 2, and the message was, look, that's not our standard. We can win games. It's nice, to have a W in the win column. It's they don't put P for pretty next to the win column, but the message was, look, that's not our standard. What do you say to the guys after? That's a gutting loss. Maybe you almost improved to 3-1. What's the message to them after that as they get back to work? It's still early in the conference season.
Yeah, well, like you said, I think the P that matters is process, and that's following the process and not playing the score. Playing the right way at all times. Preparing the right way at all times, whether you're coming off of a win, whether you're coming off of a loss. And we didn't honor that process in the second 20 against Charlotte, and they came back and really made it a game. But we honored the preparation process between the Charlotte game and ODU game, and we honored the process throughout the 40 minutes of the ODU game. And it's why we were able to come back. And quite honestly, they didn't get a lead because we were playing poorly. They got the lead because they were playing so well.
Yeah.
And then we went on a run of our own, and we know what happened there at the end. Again, disappointing, but I feel we showed a lot of growth in that game. Now we got to show a lot of growth post-game.
Yeah, a couple different bounces and made free throw or two. That game certainly could have wound up the other way. Terrific 40 minutes, maybe one of the best games played of this season. Let's talk a little bit about some individual guys on the roster and their progression. Look, Osasu Osagai hasn't been the biggest factor in his time at FIU, but this season that theme certainly has changed. He's 9th in the NCAA in block shots per game, 1st in Conference USA. He's doubled his points per game, his rebounding. Why has he done so well this year?
Because he's put in the work. He's dedicated to his craft. He's had a lot of injuries in his past, and he's in the training room more than anyone else, both for rehab and what we call prehab, making sure that he's ready for each practice and each game. And he's put in a lot of time outside of practice, and we tell our guys all the time, we're going to work extremely hard in practice. But if all you do is work on your game when we practice, that's not nearly enough. And O is a guy that's gotten in the gym. He's worked on his body. He's worked on his game. And, he's in a system that fits what he does well. He's got good players that help make him look good. And so he's prepared to do well, and now he's executing those things.
We just saw in that clip a trio of plays of swatting a shot, getting a steal in the open court, running the floor. Is that something you emphasize to your bigs? Hey, whatever happens, whether it's a steal or a block or a rebound, I want you sprinting down the floor. It was fascinating to watch him get some big-time buckets, some big-time finishes against Charlotte in particular. Is that an emphasis for your big guys getting out on the break?
Yeah, absolutely. We talk about having multiple efforts all the time. Yeah. And it's not – we don't have a specific workout for guards and a different one for big guys in terms of our conditioning and playing with speed. We want to have a great team speed. We want to have multiple efforts from everyone on our team. And you saw the ability that O has. He can block a shot. He can get a steal, and he can get out and dribble and finish. And you come to one of our practices, you're going to see our big guys working on dribbling, working on shooting, working on passing. We try to work on the skill and versatility of all of our guys.
He did a good job staying out of foul trouble against Old Dominion, and even though he was on the bench a little bit with fouls against Charlotte, he made an impact over the course of the game. He picked up a foul in the first 30 seconds, I think, and then followed that with a couple of block shots and a couple of dunks, was able to stay on the floor and stay effective. Now, the guy that's done well the past couple of games, Trajan Jacob, nearly 60% from the field in his last two games, 6 of 12 from beyond the arc as well. He had a couple of rough games on the road at Ohio, and UAB was 4 for 14 from the field, 1 for 9 from beyond the arc. But against Old Dominion, showed his game in transition, in the mid-range, getting to the bucket. What have you liked out of him the last two conference games?
Well, what I've liked about him is what he's done outside of the games. And what he's done outside of the games is what's allowed him to have those two good games.
Yeah.
He's worked really hard on his craft. He's gotten in and had intentional reps in shooting the ball, handling the ball. He's been intentional in his defensive focus and practice, and that's allowed him to be successful in the game. And he's played better defense. And I tell them it's amazing how when you honor the game and respect the game by giving it great effort and playing on the defensive end, how the offensive side comes around. And we're starting to see that with Trajan right now. In
terms of Trajan and really the offensive philosophy in general, look, I think the three-point percentage hovers right around 30% right now. Some games better than others, obviously, but they have the green light, it seems. But after the most recent road swing, I was talking with the staff, it seemed like the emphasis was taking smarter shots. You don't have a problem with putting it up from the perimeter and making that a part of the game, but you wanted the team to take smarter shots. How did you feel that was executed this week?
Well, I write on the board before every game ACL, and ACL for us stands for aggressive, confident, and loose. So I want our guys to play with that mentality every time we step on the floor. I believe that gives us an advantage over teams that we play. But what we've proven over the course of the season right now is that we have not shot the ball from three with consistency. And because of that, we can't be shooting contested three-point shots when we're shooting as poorly as we have in some of these games. When we shoot the right shots, we shoot a high percentage. Yeah. I believe we made 10 threes against ODU, and we're capable of being a double-figure three-point made team when we're taking the right one. So these guys still have the green light. We still want to play fast. We still do play fast. But we need to make sure we're taking the right ones each and every time down. And these guys got to believe that if we trust the offense, if we execute the offense, we will get a great shot every time down.
And it wasn't just Willie and Trajan and even Brian Beard to an extent putting up those perimeter shots against Old Dominion. Mike Douglas came in and had a number of big buckets in that game. What do you see out of almost everyone on this roster gets burned at some point throughout the year? Douglas, as I had 9 double-figure games last year. He can come up big. Between him and Philip Smith, who's now healthy, guys that don't see as much time, where do you see them contributing down the road here in conference play? As you play a fast brand of basketball, obviously that lends itself to going a little bit deeper down the bench, one would think.
Well, I want to give a special shout-out to Mike Douglas because, he'd be the first to admit that the start of the season, wasn't what he wanted.
Sure.
And wasn't to his liking or to his expectations. And right now you're seeing a senior be a senior. And you're seeing a senior leader be a senior leader.
Yeah.
And he's worked really hard at his game. He's gotten in the gym, worked on his shooting, worked on his handling, worked on getting in even better shape so that he can play more minutes. And he deserves to play more minutes and will continue to play more minutes because he's providing great leadership and really playing well for us right now. And he's someone that we count on. Philip Smith, it's great to see him getting back and finally be healthy. Now, obviously, he's a freshman that's missed a lot of time. And
hard
a lot
to just throw someone in conference play.
Exactly, and really he's missed a lot of practice time. But I'm pleased with how dialed in he's been, and we're going to need all these guys to come in and step up. And, I tell them I can't tell you when your name's going to get called, but I can tell you that when your name gets called, you must be prepared for that.
Yeah.
And, but we're seeing guys that are prepared for that, and they got to keep working. They got to keep having great spirit and keep being about the team because their time will come.
All right, a pretty big road swing coming up this weekend, probably the most difficult two-game road swing any Conference USA team will have on the schedule. Western Kentucky and Marshall on the road. We'll talk about those two games and look back on the top 5 plays from this past week against Charlotte. You're watching Panther Talk Live, brought to you by the Florida Lottery. We'll be right back after this.
Trajan Jacob, shooting guard at Florida National University from Houston, Texas. Fell in love with the game from my older brother and my older sister. They're always my role models, my idols. What makes me Trajan Jacob, like to shoot the basketball, score the basketball in a variety of different ways. I look to leave my mark while setting the scoring record again. I broke it last year with 38 points. I'm just trying to get my name on the wall and make them remember me, and hopefully one day they can retire my jersey. Coach of the team, we're running gun style, but also, we're a very big family, and we try to incorporate that in everything we do, regardless if it's on the court or even off the court. To all the FIU fans, make sure y'all show up. This year's going to be a show. We're going to put some points on the board and have fun.
We are stronger together.
We push our teams to excel.
In the classroom,
On the court,
In the community,
together we are committed and uplifting.
Strong and authentic.
we are building the next generation.
A generation with integrity.
And we're doing it our way, supporting one another, working towards the same vision.
Stronger together.
This is the CUSA way.
Brian Beer Jr., FIU basketball senior point guard from Rancho Cucamonga, California. I've been playing the game since I was 3 years old, so it's something I have a love for the game. This year is just some more competing, some more working hard. Every day is tough. The coaching staff is a great coaching staff. Everybody, we all get along. It's just a different feel to the team this year, and I feel like we're gonna be good. The individual goals: make a first team all conference, break some more records, more steals records, assists records, and just win. I just want to win. I want to be known as a winner. Let's come out this year and find out, man. It's gonna be a good year. We're gonna get a lot of wins. Hopefully everybody comes, pack the stands.
Well, the Florida Lottery has contributed more than $34 billion to support education. Your ticket purchase helps Florida students have a brighter future. Follow the Florida Lottery today on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Another Chamber of Commerce day here in South Florida. Beautiful day in Miami as the spring semester, beginning of it, continues along. A.J. Ricketts alongside Jerry Ballard. Coach, after a tough loss, sometimes is it difficult to get the energy level in practice that you want after a tough loss, or do you more times than not see that focus and intensity from the guys kind of ticked off about the way a game ended? What's the energy level been like in practice the last day or two?
Well, the sign of a good coach.
Let's get there.
Excuse me. Players mess up too. Sorry. The sign of a good culture and of a good team is that they respond to adversity, and that's some adversity. We played hard. We came up short. So, we could have come in sulking. We could have come in with our head down and low energy, but, all that will result in is another loss.
Yeah.
So, we just came from practice right now, and we had a really good practice. Guys were dialed in. Guys were locked in, and they were eager to get better, and we did get better today.
All right, let's talk about Thursday. Western Kentucky on the road. Man, they've had an interesting season so far. You look at their record on paper, you're not sure what to expect. 8-8, they're 1-2 in conference play. You do a deeper dive. Got a couple big wins over Power 5 teams this year. Over 13th ranked West Virginia up in Conway at the start of the season. They got a victory at Arkansas as well, and then most recently a home win against 15th ranked Wisconsin. Their 2 CUSA losses by a combined 4 points. Rick Stansbury brought this squad to the NIT Final Four last year. Initial scouting, still a couple of days to go, but what have you seen on tape out of Western Kentucky, and what can you expect this Thursday night in a pretty tough environment?
Well, again, this is a 3-game swing beginning with ODU of where we've gone against our traditional class of the league in terms of these 3 programs. WKU has excellent talent. They've got NBA talent on their team. They're deep, and they've got an experienced coach that does a great job with them. So, it's going to be very hard. It's very hard to beat them on any court. It's certainly going to be very hard to beat them on their home court. But, we're just trying to prepare as hard as we can, learn from the things we've done well, the things that we haven't done well, and come in and compete to the best of our ability, and I think we could have a chance.
You talk about road games this season. The 2 that stand out, I think, are the wins at FGCU and in Middle Tennessee the other week. How much do you think that helped the growth of your team, a team that's young in some spots, to be down, I think, 15 in Fort Myers, to be down 14 in Middle Tennessee in the first conference road game of the season, and then work the way back. When you guys made those runs to get back in the game, as electric as the team's been on the bench, on the court at any point in the season, how much do you feel those comebacks on the road have helped the team grow and prepare for what's about to be 2 big conference games?
It's huge because basketball is a game of runs, and those games are epitome of that. And it tells our guys that, hey, you always got to stick with our plan, stick with our process, because we're never out of the game.
Yeah.
Even if it's a double-figure deficit, even if it's on the road, even if it's against a good team. So hopefully we take a lot from that, that we know that we can come back from any deficit, but also hopefully we take from that we got to quit digging these deficits for ourselves.
Yeah, you got to stay out of the hole to begin with, like
For
you
sure.
said, after Middle Tennessee. All right, let's wrap things up. Our top 5 plays from last week's victory against Charlotte. Let's go. Presented by Miccosukee Resort and Gaming. Number 5, defensively up by 12. Osasu Osagai getting his hands in there, starting the fast break, and Jacob finishing the play. Defense leading to offense.
Absolutely. That's what we want our program to be built on. Defensive stops leading to offensive points.
Number 4, again, Osasu Osagai getting his hands in there, starting the break. Antonio Day finding Osagai at the last moment. Didn't know how he even knew he was there.
That's awesome. Rewarding the big guy for his defensive effort and his running back into the play.
And again, Osasai looking like a guard, picking the pocket in the open court, finishing the play. That put FIU up by 15 with just 10.5 minutes left to go. Moving forward, number 2 against Charlotte last week. The rejection and running the floor.
Absolutely. Well,
a constant theme here.
I'm loving this theme. Defense to offense and multiple efforts.
It was quite a sight to see Osagai pick up 5 blocks against Charlotte, had 6 against ODU. Top play from the week, the steal, and the alley-oop beer to Trajan Jacob. We said that a couple times this year.
Yeah, I love seeing the team effort, the team defense, getting stops, and then being unselfish on the other end. And this is just a lesson our guys got to learn. The better our defense is, the better our offense is.
FIU picking up that win over Charlotte by 3. They've got Western Kentucky and Marshall on the road this week. And remember, Marshall, NCAA tournament team last year, advanced to the second round before they fell to West Virginia. And Western Kentucky, who will play Thursday, they were nearly a tournament team themselves as the conference was trying to get 2 bids. They fell to Marshall by 1 point in that conference championship game before advancing to the NIT Final Four. So a great week of competition Thursday and Saturday for FIU. Coach, last thing, what's the most important thing you got to emphasize to your team as you get ready to hit the road? Big 3-game stretch right here, as you said, against some of the best teams typically in conference play. What do you try to emphasize this week?
We've got to have a road warrior mentality. We've got to be tough. We've got to be physical. We got to follow our game plan. We've got to execute, and we've got to stay together. And there's going to be highs and lows, especially on the road, but we have to focus on the things that we can control.
All right. Now our tradition, as we finish off each show, he's going to go back to the Ocean Bank Convocation Center, start the scouting report, get some game prep. I'm going to head over to Cafe Bustelo and get a cafecito and cafe con leche. I love the routine here on Monday afternoons. Coach, appreciate the time.
Thanks, AJ.
Thanks as always. This has been Panther Talk Live. with Jeremy Ballard and Tiara Malcom, presented by the Florida Lottery. Big road stretch this week as FIU sits at 2-2 in conference play, 11-6 overall. Panthers looking good as the conference season continues. Thanks for joining us this week. We'll see you next time on Panther Talk Live. I'm AJ Ricketts. See you next time. All right, Coach.